This bike is a 2022 Triumph Bobber. It has got 0 kilometers on it. Just get a look at this. I really like this open back tire, although I'll probably have to put a rack on it so that I can put some gear. It is a chain drive, but chains nowadays are not too bad to take care of. Everything blacked out, whereas the older ones are a little more brushed finish. I really like this headlight. Let's see if I can see that headlight. I really like the way that headlight looks. It's gorgeous. The LEDs on the signal lights. Yeah. Ooh. It is a much different riding experience than the V9 I have. Just the seating position, it's so much lower. One kilometer. I got to turn it over one. What a treat to take this out. It's brand new. Okay, trip. Liters per 100 kilometers. So the difference here between this one and the last one that I drove, obviously 3 years. This has got a much bigger tank on it than the older versions. But the seating position should be the same. The engine should be the same. A little difference in the forks. Double front brake, which I like. The two discs, which the older versions only had one. I really like the instrumentation on this. It looks great. I don't think I'm going to be able to get it up fast enough to go out of fourth, but shifting seems a lot nicer than the Guzzi. And just the position of the shifter is in a nicer spot on my toe after the surgery. It's given me an issue with the shifting, but it's a lot softer on this bike than on the Moto Guzzi. My biggest concern on this bike is without a windshield and without the ability to scooch back on the seat, because the seat on this is just a single pan. How comfortable will I be going highway speeds on it and not being able to lean into being like holding on for dear life? There's a lot more stability on this than on my bike on the Guzzi. Like, I'm just kind of sitting here and it's just going. And when you steer, you have to be very deliberate at it. More so than the Guzzi with my higher center of gravity on it. This is very low. It's very smooth. I'm not feeling any bumps here on the road at all. It feels nice. It has all kinds of get up and go. Now, granted, we've got the rain mode on today because it's a little rainy, and given the tires are brand new and I'm on a test drive, I don't necessarily want to take the rain mode off. This has a cruise control on it as well. I've never used a cruise control on a bike. Part of the reason I like riding a bike is because of how active I can be in my speed, controlling it up and down every little hill. It makes me feel excited. So putting a cruise control on and not having that might just take away from my driving experience enough that I probably never would use it. I am so much closer to the ground on this bike than the Moto Guzzi. Like, I just put my foot a little bit and I'm already at the ground. I don't have to reach at all. It sure feels comfortable in the corners though. Not as aggressive as the cafe racers, but it still feels comfortable. Yeah, that's weird to just put your foot down and be right there. I think that's about as fast as I really want to go on these little roads. And it doesn't feel like the wind is pushing me off. Certainly not any more than on the Guzzi. Even though, like, my position here is leaning forward a little bit more, so perhaps getting onto some higher speeds might be even more comfortable for me. But I don't have the chance to sit up any straighter. I mean, I suppose I could get different handlebars that could give me a straighter up seating position, but then I wouldn't have the flexibility to move forward. It's just the length of the seat on the Guzzi allows me to do that. Now, according to the legal document that I just signed, the only thing I need to do to justify this bike is to lay it down a little bit or scratch it. Then by law, I have to buy it. It's not even my choice anymore at that point. It's good to take it over some of these roads that are a little patchwork. Feel how the suspension feels. But I don't find that it's like I'm running on a washboard or anything here. It doesn't feel overly bumpy to me. Even go over some of these roads, these spots that are not ideal. I do like the quality of these bikes though. They just feel very solid. Everything you touch on them just feels so good. So solid, well built. I do like the position of these bar end mirrors. I'm going to have to get some on mine if I don't make a change. They just seem to me to be in the exact right position to see. It is so different being this close to the ground. That is the biggest thing that strikes me jumping on this bike is the ground is like right there, right where my foot peg is. I don't have to hardly reach and my knee is still bent when I'm touching the ground. It feels very different. It makes the bike feel small. Even though it's quite a bit bigger than my bike, mass-wise, size-wise, it's 1200. And they are right there. And a total of 16 kilometers. The first 16 kilometers on this bike. What a treat. Amazing, amazing motorcycle.